Hey, good morning. Time for the Classic Guitar Rack Daily Update. I'm Jeremy. We got a lot. There's a lot of stuff that we're gonna get to today. Did you see the Tyson fight on Friday night? Yeah, that was it was disappointing. I'm not the first one to say this, but I'm a Tyson fan. Tyson, we're like the same age, right? So I had to root for Mike Tyson. But Jake Paul was in a difficult situation, right? Because if he wins, yeah, you beat up on a 58-year-old man. If he loses, you got beat by a 58-year-old man. So, but he did make tons of money. So he's probably okay with that. So, anyways, but yeah, it was on Netflix. I already had Netflix, so I didn't spend any money. Had I spent money, I would have been kind of disappointed. Are we going to see more Tyson fights? I don't know. I kind of hope not. I don't like, his legs are gone. Yeah. Between you and me, I don't want to see any more Tyson fights. My boys wanted to watch it, so we watched it. But yeah, it was and here's the thing, Netflix, I mean, Netflix is apparently they're going to be doing some football, they're going to start doing more live stuff, right? But they had some technical glitches, and it just, their hosts were bad. Yeah, the Yahoo they got, he's apparently some WWE announcer, just in the radio biz, we'd call them pukers, right? Pukers were people that always talk with a phony voice to make it sound more excited. He was one of those dudes, and he was very annoying. So yeah, it was kind of difficult to watch. The fight was not good. So I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Shoot me an email, classicguitarrock@mail.com. And as always, the open invitation to check out Classic Guitar Rock Radio. Go to the website, classicguitarrock.com, and you can go right to the radio station or the podcast. It'll be great if you did that. We are on the Blue Sky app now too. Blue Sky is like Twitter. Looks just like it. And apparently people that are angry at Twitter started this Blue Sky. I'm not angry at Twitter. I don't care. But so I'm over on Blue Sky too. So you can check us out on Twitter. We're on Blue Sky. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. Let's get to the news here. Sammy Hagar and Guy Fieri. Are you a fan of Guy Fieri? I am. I like watching his show. The what is it? Drive-ins, dives, and whatever. I like that show. Well, he and Sammy Hagar teamed up a few years ago to sell tequila. Santo Tequila is their brand. Well, 2 trucks for their jointly owned tequila company were hijacked with over $1 million in products stolen. It's like something off of Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad or whichever show has Mike. I don't know, but that's exactly what it sounds like. And Guy even says that later. This is a statement from Hagar's representative. It appears this was an organized crime effort where the trucks were illegally double brokered to different carriers who transferred the product to their trucks. Wow. For a growing company, this is now Sammy's statement. For a growing company like Santo, it's really a shame for something like this to happen in the middle of our strongest year to date and right before the holidays. Anyone that knows business knows that this is a huge setback for any company in a hugely competitive market. But Guy and I will survive. Most of all, we're glad that nobody was hurt during this crime. Now, here's the thing. When this tequila turns up somewhere, wouldn't you think they'd just be able to say, hey, where'd you get that from? And track down where they got, I don't know. I'm not a law enforcement professional, but I would think that this is going to show up somewhere unless they completely move it on the black market. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. They launched Santo Tequila in 2019. Now, of course, before that, Hagar owned his own brand, Cabo Wabo. that he sold, years ago, right? But that was his original brand. He says, or Fieri said, we've worked so hard. This is our best year we've ever had in Santo. We just had all this momentum, and now whatever's on the shelf is all people are going to get. As far as a motive, Fieri suggests that someone could be trying to break the momentum. He said it's like a movie. I never in a million years thought this was coming down the pike like this, but it's real. So that stinks. It's no good. More Sammy Hagar news. He is bringing the Best of All Worlds tour to Las Vegas in a residency next year. It'll start on April 30th. And it looks like I can give you looks like 6 shows total beginning April 30th, ending the 16th and 17th. Well, some of those are 2-night dates. So yeah, it looks like about 10 shows or something in Las Vegas at the Park MGM. So if you want to check that out and you're in Vegas, that would be a good show. The footage I've seen of the Best of All Worlds tour looks really good. And he says they're going to dig even deeper for some deep Hagar and Van Halen tracks. Marlon's checking in. Hi, Marlon. Happy Monday to you, sir. Thanks for joining us. One little item related to that Best of All Worlds, Jason Bonham has been Sammy Hagar's drummer, for like 20 years, a long time. They've worked together. Well, in the middle of the Best of All Worlds tour recently, Jason's mom had a stroke and eventually passed away, and he had to leave, understandably so, right? So they brought in Kenny Aronoff on like less than 24 hours notice. He came in, played the show. Sammy said, hey, he did great. And it was, and Kenny has worked with Sammy with Chickenfoot before, so they already knew each other. Well, to make a long story short, they're moving forward with Kenny Aronoff instead of Jason. So they still got some remaining dates on the Best of All Worlds tour in December. And they're doing that with Kenny, and then they'll be using Kenny moving forward, it looks like. So, that's interesting. I mean, his mom has passed away. So I don't know. I'm not trying not to read anything in there, but they're going forward with Kenny, and Jason acknowledged this as social media post. Someone had asked, when are you going to return to Sammy's band? He says, I'm not going to be. They're moving forward with Kenny. So I don't know if it's only because I assume his mom has passed, and the need for him to be there in England is probably, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It will be interesting to see what the details are. Both great drummers, Jason and Kenny, both awesome drummers. Can't go wrong with either of them. And they're both bald. So, and Satriani's, you need a bald guy. So Jason and Kenny, they're the 2 bald drummers. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. So let me tell you something. So back in September, my wife and I went and saw Def Leppard. I was super stoked because guess who was going to be opening? It was Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Experience, which, by the way, if you've seen footage of that, that's awesome too. So this was all going on. I was wondering how he would do that with the Best of Both Worlds. And I'm assuming he had that all scheduled out because he's opening for bands as the Jason Bonham Experience, Led Zeppelin Experience, also being part of the Sammy Hagar tour. Well, then his mom has a stroke and he has to drop both. So guess what happened to me? Super excited to see Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Experience open for Def Leppard in the Spokane Arena. We get some local DJ. Okay. Literally, there's a guy up on a huge stage with his laptop playing 80s songs. That's what we got for our opening band, DJ Maddie. I'm nothing against DJ Maddie. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but dude, I'm going to buy a laptop so I can open for bands pushing a button. Don't get me started on DJs. We want to hire someone to come play their laptop for our dance. If you play in a cover band or a dad band, you know what I'm talking about, right? So some organization has $500 budgeted, $300 budgeted. Yeah, could you come and play at our? We're gonna have a dance. Could you guys come and play? And so you're competing against a guy with a thumb drive, right? They pay the guy with the thumb drive $500, just like they'd pay your 5-piece band. Just a tip. Yeah, you're way better. I would rather see a bad live band than a guy with a thumb drive. I'm just saying that. I'm a fan of live music. Maybe kids don't like live music. Maybe they like thumb drives. I don't know. Don't get me going. Speaking of tours and concerts and that sort of thing and whatnot, Rod Stewart has confirmed new North American dates on his ongoing One Last Time tour. He's been playing all over. So this update, the new dates start in March 7th in Austin, Texas, and they go clear through August 15th in St. Louis, Missouri. Here's the cool part, and to be honest, the only reason I'm talking about it, Cheap Trick is the opening band. I've said it before, I'll say it again. For your concert buying dollar, you will not get a better band than Cheap Trick, even as old as they are now. Robin still sounds great. They're just a great live band. If you've only listened to Cheap Trick records, you're only getting 1/4 of the story. Okay. They are a live band. They are a band that has to be seen live. I mean, I'd go see it and just go home before Rod Stewart starts. I shouldn't say that. I like Rod Stewart. I even like Rod Stewart's mellow stuff. And most of it will be mellow when you see him, right? But Cheap Trick's opening. So, I mean, yeah. You got to go. You got to go see Cheap Trick. If you've never seen Cheap Trick, that's your assignment. And they're still the hardest working band in the business. Chances are they will be through your neck of the woods in the next couple months. Go see them. You can see them in a small place. Usually they're either going to be playing in a club or a casino, or they'll be opening right in a bigger arena for someone. But you got to see Cheap Trick. You got to do it. Speaking of Van Halen, Alex Van Halen, he's been doing the press for his new book, Brothers. I've seen some cool interview clips. We kind of shared some negative news about Alex last week. But here's a cool little item. He was on the Talk is Jericho podcast. And he says that there are 3 or 4 albums worth of unheard Eddie Van Halen music currently sitting in the vaults. Alex says, quote, on the end of the spectrum is the fact that little licks don't make a song. On the other end of the spectrum, some of those licks are so unbelievably powerful, it's too bad that they ended up in the back of the vault rather than being records. So he, emphasized there's a bunch of music, but he's got a high standard of what's going to get released. He says, quote, they will stay there in the vault until we figure out how and why and what to do with them. And again, you have to remember, it has to be on the level of where Ed and I were. Let me try this again. It has to be on the level of where Ed and I, where we used to play. We're not just going to shovel it in. We have access to some of the greatest musicians on the planet, and a lot of them are more than willing to take a chance on some of this stuff. So does that mean they're going to bring in other musicians to play along with it or I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. He said that takes time and you want to do it right. I want to do it right. So we've already talked about his book, Brothers, that came out in October. He's been doing a lot of press about that. And they even released the one song. I can't remember what it was called. They did release the one song as part of the book, Unfinished. That's what it's called, Unfinished. He says, quote, I know people want to hear it. The other side of the coin is this doesn't sound like Van Halen. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So, anyways, stay tuned for more, at some point, more music from Van Halen. You know, the bummer about Van Halen in general was just their lack of output for the last 20 years. You know, once Sam left, you know, they did the one album with Dave after that and one tour. And when was that? 2012? Something like that. So there was this long gap before that happened, and then nothing after that. And there's always demand for them to do stuff. And Ed and Al just didn't put anything out, and apparently weren't interested in putting anything out. So there was this big pent up demand. There was never a proper tribute from the Van Halen camp. Sammy was doing his way, kind of a tribute, but only because there was never an official one put together. So hopefully we see more stuff come out. I kind of have my doubts, but hopefully we see that. Okay, one last news item. Again, this is not politics. This is not politics, but I am going to share this story because I want to chime in on this, because there's stupidity going on here. And this is not about partisan politics. It's actually about hunting. Okay. So Ozzy Osbourne and his wife, who does not look good, neither of them look good. Sharon has had so much sandblasting done on her face, she doesn't look human anymore. I hope she's okay. An exclusive t-shirt designed by Ozzy Osbourne is on sale to support the campaign to ban trophy hunting. Speaking out this week to launch the t-shirt, this is from Blabbermouth, by the way. The Black Sabbath frontman and his wife, manager Sharon Osbourne, shared their disgust that vile UK trophy. Here's some editorializing by the staff. I'm just reading what they wrote. Vile UK trophy hunters are still allowed by law to bring animal parts back to the UK from countries including Africa and beyond. Ozzy, who is signing a number of shirts which will be auctioned to raise funds for the campaign, said, quote, "Trophy hunters are totally crazy. You've got to be barking to kill an innocent animal and then take photos of yourself laughing about it. We've all got to do our bit. I like to design things, so I've done a t-shirt for the campaign to ban trophy hunting. The government said it would ban hunting trophies, so get on with it. Tell your MP you want it banned right now. Get yourself an Ozzy t-shirt for Christmas and help save the animals. F you." Okay, these guys are doing something legal. I don't hunt. Okay, I'm not a fan of hunting. I don't want to hunt. Okay, but I live in Montana. I have a place in Montana. Hunting is part of not only the economy. Here's what's so super short-sighted about this. And Ozzy's, his brain's addled. He doesn't know. Plus, he's not that smart to begin with. And I love Ozzy. Okay. These are trophy hunters doing something that's illegal, or doing something that is legal, 100% legal. And what they don't address, the unintended consequences of banning trophy hunting, is, guess what? Many of these African countries, that is a major part of their economy. It employs hundreds, if not thousands of people. They make lots of money from rich people from the UK, from the US, from wherever, who come and participate in these trophy hunts. They make lots of money. And guess what? Hunting is necessary to keep animals healthy. Okay? This is akin to people who are opposed to anyone ever cutting down a tree. Okay, they're idiots. They don't understand what they're talking about. They see a picture of a dead lion and they get all sad. Well, I don't want to shoot a lion. I don't want to shoot any animal, but that's not the point. This is a legal activity. People go pay thousands of dollars to do this. The governments of those countries make lots of money doing it. It's a major part of their economy. And so some rich movie star, because he does not like it, wants to have it banned. How about if you don't like hunting, you don't go hunting? Okay. There's lots of things I don't like that people do. I'm not going to try and ban. You know what? I don't drink. I don't drink at all. I don't smoke. I don't do any of that. But some people do. And guess what? It's completely legal. I'm not going to stand up and try and get that banned. I'm very disappointed in Ozzy being so stupid about a topic like this. If you don't like hunting, don't hunt. Don't look at pictures of people hunting. Okay. This is a legal activity people are doing. And by the way, the single biggest donators or contributors to ecology funds and wildlife funds are, guess what? Hunters. Okay. The funds that come from hunting, more than from any other group of people that help with conservation efforts and wildlife management, is hunting. Hunting is necessary to have healthy wildlife. Okay. So if you don't like hunting, don't hunt, but just keep your trap shut, Ozzy. You're wrong on this. Okay. If you're opposed to hunting, don't hunt. Okay. Just very short-sighted. And let's say they get it banned. Okay. Now what are these companies that make, or these countries that make lots of money from trophy hunts? What are they going to do now? Ozzy, are you going to chip in the money to support these families now that won't have it anymore? I don't know. Marlon says, I assume they are opposed to Ted Nugent's ranch in Texas too. I'm sure they are. They're probably just opposed to hunting. And yeah, it bugs me because I'm from a hunting state, right? Hunting's a big part. A lot of people hunt. Like I said, I'm not a hunter. I don't really have a desire to hunt. I could totally just shoot white-tailed deer all day long from my place in Montana. They're all over the place, right? And Taxilla says, so the dude that bit the head off a bat wants to protect the animals. That's a good point. Anyways, I didn't mean to go on a rant. But it does bug me when, just because someone's a rich celebrity, they think they should, decide what's good for the rest of us peasants to do. So that is annoying. Anyways, guys, Marlon says, I hunt under the water. I'm assuming that means you're a fisherman. Yeah, that's awesome. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Check out Classic Guitar Rock Radio and shoot me an email, classicguitarrock@mail.com. We'll do it again. Here's my commitment. I'm going to commit to you right now. We're going to do it again tomorrow. Okay. We'll do another update tomorrow. Thanks so much. See you later. Live long and